Hey everybody, this is Derek Stallings at Spectre Playing Toys in Abilene, Texas, and it's been a long time since I did an updated store tour, so I thought I'd do another one just to alleviate any concerns or doubts that we've gone out of business. We haven't, luckily, not yet, and just kind of show you how much our store has improved and diversified since you last took the virtual store tour, the few of you that have. Um, Looking back on the previous videos I'd done, it was actually kind of embarrassing how small the selection was and why I felt it was worthy of sharing with a global audience, or a couple hundreds anyway. But I'm much more proud of what we've established here. I think we found a motif, and I think we found our niche. You know, we've diversified quite a bit. As you can see, we do vintage and contemporary toys and some other things that we'll kind of check out here. Doing board games, a lot of board games, vintage and contemporary. That Willow one there, still sealed, that's kind of interesting. And doing a lot of books. All the paperbacks are $1. We try to keep it genre and classics. I don't really necessarily want to have Eat, Pray, Love here. Doing DVDs, all sorts of good things here. Hardbacks of prices marked. I think the most expensive hardback we have here is maybe $4. Again, just trying to keep it affordable and try to encourage people to read an actual book and not these god-awful Kindles and ebooks and whatever else, which is cheating. You think it's reading, but it's really not. It's literary masturbation is all it really is. But in my opinion, some good books. These are the kind of books I would read, and I think people of a similar ilk would read. You know, just really good, fun, entertaining books. And also carry girls' toys now, not just these 5 Barbies. We have other things too. Expanded Hot Wheels selection. We do still have some older, newer stuff, like, you know, every toy store is going to have leftover Star Wars stuff from the 90s, and we do have those. But we also do have the newer Star Wars, some of the vintage stuff there, or the vintage-inspired product that they've been doing, which are really cool. Same thing with G.I. Joe. You know, we've got some Valor vs. Venom there, and then of course the 25th anniversary stuff. We got quite a few of those still, and even the newer ones. We got a small selection of the newer ones. Being an independent toy retailer, it's kind of difficult to have the most recent toys simply because my cost at ordering them is about what you'd pay for them at retail. So naturally, my cost then is higher. You know, the toy you can buy at Walmart for $7, my store is going to run closer to 11 or 12, and it makes it difficult. It makes it difficult. So the newer stuff, I try to keep a limited selection, simply because it's too difficult to compete. I try to focus on things that Walmart won't have, like Saturday Night Live and Mr. Potato Head and whatnot. Transformers, always got Transformers are of course another mainstay, another staple. Don't think you'll find these at Walmart. Wacky Wigglers, that that came with the store. Dragons, McFarlane Dragons, those are always a big hit. Some of the Matty Collector, Masters Universe, also toned down on those. It's just because again, my cost is pretty much what your cost is, so it really makes it difficult to want to invest in those. We do have a quarter bin, where anything in this bin is a quarter, and you know, a lot of it's just loose stuff, but sometimes I try to make it something worthwhile and reward frequent visitors by putting something in there pretty cool, like, you know, here you go, Ultimate Muscle for 25 cents. Sad thing is, he's actually been there a couple days. Some of the Kingdom Come action figures, which I thought were really cool. Got some Turtle stuff. Those are, of course, original carded 25th anniversary van. And then just a mixed bag of favors and whatnot, which are vintage. Incredible Hulk story album. Willow. You are great. Of course, Marvel Universe. Some vintage E.T. You know, just trying to appeal to as many people as possible and throw as many things to the wall and see it stick, including the Saddam Hussein voodoo doll. This is another thing we've been doing recently. Oh, check this out. Oh, that's right, baby. Funky Brewster. We've been doing the role-playing through Games Workshop. We're doing primarily Warhammer 40k, but we're also starting to do Warhammer Fantasy, and may do Lord of the Rings, we'll see. We do a lot of special orders. I know these shelves look very sparse, but we're doing mainly special orders, and those are killer. And we do have some loose paints and supplies and other things here as well. And we've got some Viewmaster reels. Kind of our plush doll selection. You know, this appeals mainly to kids and girls. A lot of Care Bears and whatnot, and some really cool stuff here too, which I'll show you. We got some My Little Ponies, vintage and new, some vintage My Strawberry Shortcakes, Raggedy Ann and Andy's, and just a big mixed box here of plushes. The vintage Fisher Price horse, candy, yum yum, and the Hall of Fame there. And this is kind of a display case where I'm encouraging, myself and other local collectors to just kind of show off things. So anybody who thinks they have something worth showing off, I'll lease this out, free of course, but just give them an opportunity to kind of show off some of the things they have in their collection. And I'm hoping that'll take off and just gives people some bragging rights. They're just trading cards also, and over here we kind of have a mix. We got vintage stuff loose, new stuff loose, a little bit of everything. Loose G.I. Joes and loose Star Wars for $2 a piece. Can't hardly beat that. And here we got some of the vehicles, including Batman and all different generations of G.I. Joes. Some of these are vintage, some of the early part of the decade Valor vs. Venoms, and some are the newer things. Just many different things as possible. The Naboo starship, very impressive specimen. Talking Freddy Krueger, who is protecting the nuts. Always a good idea, Freddy. Oh, here's some more books. This is a bunch of children's books from all different eras and some reprinted comic strip comics. Big selection of hardbacks. Some puzzles, vintage puzzles. And this is actually store stock, vintage unused coloring books from Return of the Jedi that we're doing for $5 a piece. Store stock, I mean, these things are crisp. And there's Robot City from the movie Robots. Probably the only good thing to come from the movie Robots was that toy. But we've just been really fortunate. Been buying a lot of collections, so our inventory has really diversified quite a bit. And it's just gotten some really cool stuff in here. Every time I sell something, a part of me dies, because that's the difficulty of being a toy dealer when you're also a toy collector, is you don't want to part with any of this stuff. You want to keep everything. But regrettably, it's not necessarily an option. He-Man actually got his own display case, with She-Ra, of course. And this is just a fraction of the He-Man stuff we have. I got a ton of He-Man stuff in the back. Well, not literally a ton. I haven't actually weighed it, but a lot. But we only have X amount of space to display things, so that makes it difficult. This is just a big mixed display case of just whatever we have. And there's a little bit of everything in there. Some good, some bad. But everybody likes something different, so you gotta try to meet their tastes. A lot of Power Ranger stuff. I had no idea until relatively recently how big Power Rangers were. That's a Penthouse Place Voltron, which is by far, in my opinion, the coolest Voltron. Some newer era Transformers. And of course, this wall. Some of these things you'll probably recognize from the previous video. Some things have just not sold yet, which is fine. I don't mind looking at them. And I hope to do some more videos too. There's a big collection we have in the back that is just massive. It's got everything in there. It's got press kits from the original 3 Star Wars movies. It's just a little bit of everything. It's a massive collection. And should be picking up another couple collections here in the next couple weeks of just God knows what. So if I can just get off my lazy patootie and start making more videos, then that'll be advantageous for everybody. And then, so that's that. Give you one swooping look again at the front room. There you go. And then this room here, we've pretty much cleared out. These, we're no longer doing the movie posters. Unfortunately, it just didn't catch on. I thought it was a great idea, and being a movie poster enthusiast, I would have thought that. But it just didn't really catch on. I mean, it's not worth selling posters unless you can frame them, and framing is too expensive. So these posters are just pretty much decoration. They're ambiance. You know, and you may ask yourself, ambiance for what? Well, this is also our gaming room, where the players meet every other Saturday in game. Usually Warhammer 40K, pardon me. Have a pretty good amount of people who show up for that. Some of them quit coming because, well, they're whiny babies and weren't man enough to come to me about some issues they had, so they meet elsewhere. But they still buy from me, so that's all good. But there you go. Just a general idea of what our store is doing. If you see anything that you liked in this video and would be interested in purchasing it, I can be emailed. Oh, there's Spuds. Didn't show you Spuds McKenzie. Those are not actually 29 cents. Okay, I try to get that off, so don't get excited. If you see anything you like that you'd like to purchase, either come to the store here in Abilene. If that's not an option to you, keep an eye on eBay. My sellers' IDs are Derek's Evil Clone and S Plain Toys. Or if you just want to email me directly, I can be reached at splaintoys@yahoo.com. And it wouldn't hurt to email me rather regularly because our store inventory changes all the time. And I'll just let you know now, we do layaway. And, you know, I think toy collecting should be a source of fun, not a source of frustration. And let me just give you a sneak peek of the collection that I have not yet gone through. Yeah, see, I got to go through all that stuff. All full of toys and memorabilia. So it may not hurt for you to check back rather regularly because there's a lot of stuff lurking back here that I just have not had a chance to go through yet. And that's part of the fun. That's part of the fun is going through this stuff and deciding what goes home and what goes out. So anyway, thank you for your time. I hope I didn't bore you, and I hope my shrill nasal voice didn't irritate you. And I hope you're a toy enthusiast like I am, and support your local toy store. It's easy to buy from Big Bad Toy Store. It's easy to go to eBay, but it's even easier to support your local toy store and keep that part of your childhood alive. You know, we're from the generation where we had KB, we had Children's Palace, we had Circus World, we had Toys by Roy, and kids today don't have that. And unless you support your local toy store, they never will. And I think it's a primordial part of childhood. So support your local toy store. Let's keep toys out there and off the internet. And thanks for your time. Kindle sucks. Bye.